Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my podcast. This is episode 5, and as promised last week, this is about the second time I had my out of body experience. I was much older now and also a married woman who happened to be a mother, and at this time, I was also in my 30s. I was home alone, and the memory begins with me again one morning floating towards my house. I remember pivoting my head towards or forward towards the right to see directly in front of me. Apparently, I was just looking over my left shoulder while laughing heartily as I was engaging with someone else of whom I cannot remember. Try as I might, I just can't seem to remember who I was talking with. But I was laughing as if it was a really funny joke that I enjoyed. And I'd like to think that it was me telling the joke. I know this is kind of a podcast where you're getting to learn me, and I've had a very serious tone, but I, I can be very silly at times, and I love joking and making people laugh. And one of my favorite sounds is other people laughing at jokes of mine that I may or may not tell with a straight face. That's just my thing. So I really feel like it was my joke. Okay, only a silly person would say something like that, but I just want to get that out of the way. But I'm not sure. I can't confirm that. Anyway, when I turned my head completely forward, I witnessed myself coming through the roof of my house. So I felt like I was floating through the roof of my house. And that's when I saw my physical body laying on his back, facing upwards toward our vaulted ceiling in the master bedroom. I often like to reconnect with the feelings I had while in this state so I can kind of better grasp what was going on, like I said, with my non physical self. I can remember feeling as if I had a particular task or duty, like a distinct responsibility to my body. It feels a lot like the kind of responsibility we have towards our vehicles. Um, but before I even came up with that metaphor, I honestly felt like, have you ever had a job that required very little mental um, mental stress? So like kind of like a fast food cashier or something like that, where you're used to doing the same things over and over, so it comes really easy, and the memory in your body just kind of like driving or riding a bike. You kind of follow through with it without even giving it much thought. That's what it felt like. It felt like, this is fun. I'll be back soon. Let me go handle this. That's what it felt like coming back into my body. Not the heaviness of it all, not bills and drama and what's happening in the world, but it really honestly felt like something I've done plenty of times before, and it is no big deal. I've had experiences where I've not seen myself through third person perspective, and I'm going off of my written script now so that I can stay on task. But I really feel like I need to explain this because it's so poignant to me to not only notice this but express it to you. It feels like I'm adorning a reality that is not so much out there as it is here within me. So, I feel very light, but I am coming back into a heavy space, if you will, like like heavy coat, like a very heavy jacket in the body, and it comes with all these feelings of worry and maybe sadness around certain social issues, and it's a whole concept of existence which is not a part of me, but I adorn it once I am a part of it inside this vehicle. So I just had to go off on that little tangent because I really wanted to capture the specific time that I had with acknowledging how fun and light I felt versus how very heavy I felt once back into the body. Separate from this, but this is not isolated. This is reoccurring, but this particular time that I felt this wasn't on this particular day. I digress. So I'll go back. So it does feel like a vehicle, right? Like getting into my body, like a duty or responsibility. like the kind of responsibility we have towards just anything that we own, that is ours, that has our name on it and we pay taxes on, like your house. It sounds funny, but it's true. So, yes, we can enjoy it. However, we can't leave it alone. The body I'm referring to. We can't leave it alone or idle for too long. And it needs maintenance for if we, I'm trying to say, do not care for it responsibly, we may indeed lose it, right? If I don't come back to the body, it's essentially in a vegetative state, right? If I'm disconnected from it too long and it's needing kind of artificial help from machines, I would imagine people who are very, very sick, who are like, I'm not going back there. This heaven is very fun, very real, and I just choose not to. I don't know what their, excuse me, experience is, but I imagine it to be like that. I came back into my body quite forcibly, still laughing, hard enough that I woke up physically and audibly laughing out loud while simultaneously sitting myself straight up in my bed. It amazed me how this previous non physical feeling of me laughing transferred into my physical body, and even more so, how it positively affected my mood. It was so strong that I felt completely elated and light on my feet as I got out of the bed. This feeling of bliss lasted for hours throughout my morning and into the afternoon. I remember posting this as a status on my social media page to see if anyone else had woken up laughing as well. No one commented that they had. It definitely beats waking up in a cold sweat and terrified, right, from a nightmare or the like. If I had chosen, if I had to choose, I would start my day like this every single day. Through the years, whenever I awakened from a deep sleep or even sometimes a nap, I could often feel myself rapidly moving from within. It's a buzzing feeling, like many small electric currents running throughout my body. I now understand that it is a high vibration that I am feeling. I'm coming down off of a vibrational high and can feel the remnants of it within my body when I wake up. And this still occurs to this day, whether it's a nap or an overnight rest. Well, that's all for my story this week, but please tune in next week when I talk about the third and final time so far that I remember coming back into my body from slumber to awakening. Thank you so much. Till next time.